Will the current global situation prompt the delivery of another stimulus check in the United States? This is actually a really good question, which we're going to be discussing right here in this video, so let's get right into it. But if you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to subscribe by hitting that button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and so I can keep you updated each and every day with all the latest details, as information is changing very rapidly right now. I'm watching everything closely, I'm doing all the research, and I break it all down into these short videos so that you can get the latest details and updates hot off the wire as they're being announced and as these items are being discussed. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss any videos going forward during this very busy and very important time with all this information. Alright, thanks again. Let's jump right into the video. Alright, so this is actually a really good question that I recently received down in the comment section. The question was, do you think the global situation right now, as well as what's going on in the United States, is going to prompt Congress to actually issue another stimulus check in 2022? This is actually a really good question. So I want to dive into this a little bit deeper because there are actually some really big things going on right now globally as well as domestically right here in the United States that I think we need to watch very closely and actually see where this may actually bring Congress as far as additional relief. So let's talk through this a little bit at a time here and let's dig in a little bit deeper on this item. All right, so when I say global situation, I think all of us totally recognize what I'm talking about, right? Yeah, I think all of us know what I'm talking about. Well, at the same time, we are also experiencing some pretty deep situations right here in the United States. Not on the same level, but let me talk about this a little bit further. Here's what's going on globally. We are literally watching economies evaporate and collapse right before our eyes. Yeah, it's happening globally right now in some countries. Again, you know what I'm talking about. But my point is, there are some things going on right here in the United States that are also very concerning that we need to watch very closely. Now again, it's not the same as what we're experiencing globally, but it is concerning inflation as well as energy and oil prices. Now again, you might be thinking, oh, seriously, this talk again? But hang with me for just a minute here because this is all going to translate into something very important here in just a minute as we talk our way through this. Here's the deal. In the United States right now, we know that we are dealing with massive inflation. Well, the situation gets even worse. Here's the deal. A lot of this is related to energy prices, oil, gas prices, heating price, or like gas or energy prices for like heating our homes, things like this. It's all translated into energy prices. This is very important. Now, we've been hearing now for a couple weeks. Analysts, experts, everybody's been saying we're going to be seeing $5 per gallon of gas national averages right here in the United States sometime soon. Well, guess what? We're already seeing it, and it is likely coming for the entire nation here very soon. This is a big situation. At the same time, generally in history, energy prices and oil prices, gas prices, a lot of times, not every time, but a lot of times collapse economies. Now here's the deal. We're getting into a situation right now where honestly, the United States is getting into a situation we are pretty much on the brink of collapse. Now again, I don't want to instill fear in anybody. I'm simply telling you this is what's going on. We are seeing energy prices spike dramatically higher. We see inflation moving much higher right now. We see a lot of different things that are kind of falling to the wayside right now. The supply chain, not exactly a good situation. Products on our store shelves. I'm not sure where you're located, but where I'm located, products on store shelves is not totally a real thing anymore. There's products out there, but there's also a lot of empty shelves. And again, maybe it's just isolated for where I'm located, but I don't really think that's the case. I've seen your comments down below, and I've seen many of you saying, yeah, I was shopping the other day, and there's a lot of empty shelves. So anyway, there is a lot of things going on right now. And realistically, there's a lot of different economies right now, including the United States, that are pretty much on the brink of maybe tipping over the edge and falling down a cliff. So again, we've got to watch this stuff very closely. Now, as a result of everything going on globally, it may actually translate into what goes on here in the United States as far as what happens with the economy, right? Energy prices, food, availability and pricing, the supply chain issues, and literally everybody just not having enough money to get by right now. Now, with all this being said and kind of understanding the landscape and the backdrop of everything going on right now, let's quickly scroll back all the way back to 2007, 2008, and 2009. What happened happened then? It was called the Great Financial Crisis. Do you remember that one? We saw the financial system basically implode on itself, and the stock market rolled over and collapsed by massive percentages, like 80% in some instances, 70 to 80% in some of the indices. Now, here's why we need to watch this. Did that have anything to do with COVID? Nope. Did it have anything to do with what we're currently seeing right now in other countries? Nope. It literally was just the implosion of the financial markets and, basically the financial markets. That's basically what happened. Financing, things like this, it basically just all collapsed on itself, and then it all came down. What happened during that same time? The government issued stimulus checks. I don't know what they were called at the time, but at the time they did issue checks. Do you remember that? They were a couple $100s, nowhere near what we saw in 2020 and 2021 from the 3 stimulus checks that they distributed. I believe back then it was about $250 is what they distributed back in 2008, 2009 range is what they did. Now, what was the point of that? Well, as everything was collapsing, they were sending money out and saying, please go out and spend this money. They wanted you to go out and spend the money to prop the economy back up, to pump it back up, right? Pump that money right into the economy. Let's look at this a little bit closer now. The first 3 stimulus checks that we received just over the last couple years here, in 2020, early 2020, in late 2020, and early 2021, we received those 3 stimulus checks. We all recognize this. What were those sent out as a result of? They were sent out as a result of the economy collapsing because of COVID. Well, is the current situation having anything to do with COVID right now? No. I think all of us can probably agree we've got much bigger fish to fry right now than COVID situation, right? For the most part, COVID, I mean, honestly, I don't even really see anything with it going on anymore with my research. There's a lot of other much bigger issues we need to watch right now versus COVID. I'm just saying, that's what I'm finding with my research. Now, my point is, the first 3 stimulus checks that we saw come out were distributed as a result of COVID and the economy pretty much collapsing in early 2020, and then all of a sudden kind of dragging along the bottom for quite a while throughout the year of 2020 and into 2021. Therefore, they continue to send us those checks and asking us to go out and spend it. Not save it, but spend it. That's what they wanted us to do with it. That's why they called it a stimulus check. But we've covered that previously in other videos. However, here we are in a totally different situation, right? I think all of us can agree what's going on currently right here, right now is very different than the COVID situation, right? So anyway, in the event that this energy crisis that we are currently living through right here, right now, economies collapsing, economies evaporating right before our eyes, the current energy situation that we're currently seeing in this country right now, the United States, with everything going on right now, literally, we are basically the straw away from breaks the camel's back, as the saying goes, or whatever, something like that. My point is, at any given moment here. Now, again, I don't want to scare anybody. I'm just simply telling you, I'm being a realist with what is actually going on. I am very much a realist with what is going on. I like to look at the big picture and see what is actually happening, right? So anyway, what is actually going on right now is we're getting into a situation where, yeah, we're starting to see $5 per gallon gas around the country. But realistically, this is probably just the start of something much, much bigger to come. Now, $5 per gallon, considering the current global situation, if it continues to move on at the rate that we're continuing to see this right now, we're going to have a much bigger energy issue on our hands than what we think we have right now. At some point in the future, we might be looking back at this thing, oh my gosh, I wish we had $5 per gallon gas. You know what I mean? So now again, I could be totally wrong. This could go back down to $2.05 a gallon, and we could be totally fine and dandy living on for a very long time. But the point is, the situation that we're currently dealing with right here, right now, is not a short-term situation. We're getting into a long-term situation right here. So unless something long-term, some type of long-term solution is actually put into place, we're going to be dealing with very high energy prices and potentially our economy at risk of, collapsing at some point because of all of this going on. So usually, when we see energy prices spike, like what we've been seeing here over the last, it's been quite a while now, couple months now, we've been seeing energy prices spike. When we see energy prices spike this dramatically, this fast like this, it's usually marking the top of a economy, and usually the thing rolls over and heads for the floor from there. Now again, I could be totally wrong with this. I've only been watching market cycles for about, 12 years, about 14 years now. I've been watching market cycles very, very closely, and we see this happen all the time with market cycles. So again, just something we've got to watch for very closely here. But anyway, the whole point is, as this cycle continues to move forward, we know that the president has announced releasing millions and millions of barrels out of the strategic reserves. Okay, that's great. That may help a little bit. But the problem is, it's a short-term fix for a long-term problem that we're going to have going forward. So let's roll this all back now. Now, again, I could sit here literally for probably an hour going on and on and on talking about all of this stuff that we should be paying attention to right now. But I don't want to do that to you because honestly, you probably don't really care about half this stuff. But I want to be real with you and let you know what is actually going on right now. All right, so anyway, let's roll this into where this could actually bring in a stimulus check. Now, again, I want to make it very clear before I get into this so that there's no miscommunication or misunderstanding. As of right now, there is not another stimulus check, but that's as of right now. However, could potentially this situation that we're living through prompt another stimulus check? In my honest opinion, yeah, absolutely, 100% it could. Why? Because at any given point here, if everything continues to move at the trajectory that it is right now, we could see this economy roll over and collapse in a big, big way. We could see a skid and burn. I think that's what it's called. Remember the days when you'd ride your bike and you'd fall and skid your knee and be like, it was a skid and burn. I think I'm saying that wrong. Something like that. I don't remember. It was something when I was a kid. Somebody always said that. What is it? I'm trying to think of what it is now. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, right? So that my point is, at any given point here, the economy could be in that type of situation. What is Congress, the administration, and what is everybody going to be doing at that time? Well, I can tell you one thing, the Federal Reserve is going to be pumping money into the economy like crazy. They're going to be printing money as fast as they possibly can, and they're going to be plowing it into the economy. Just like we saw back in 2007, 2008, and 2009 during the Great Financial Crisis, they printed a whole bunch of money, sent it out, plowed it into the market, plowed it into the economy. They sent it out in the form of checks for the American people, and they asked us to spend it. That's the same thing that may happen in the event of another major collapse. They're going to be doing anything they possibly can to get money into the economy. The Fed will be printing it up, and they'll be serving it out on platters. They'll be flying over in helicopters, dropping it out. Now, again, of course, I'm being, metaphorically, I'm saying it's basically going to be helicopter money because they're going to be doing anything they possibly can to bring this thing back and to prop up the economy once again. Now, again, I could be totally wrong. I could wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, just kidding. Gas is at $1.05. Oil is at $52 a barrel. All is fine. The supply chain issues are fine. There's more than enough food and products on our store shelves. Everything's fine around the world. The global economies are doing great. All the countries have came together and agreed to be nice to each other. I mean, let's be real with ourselves. Again, like I said, I'm a realist. I like to look at everything from the real lens of what is actually going on. Is that going to happen tomorrow? No, there's no chance. Not a chance that's going to happen tomorrow. Could it happen in the next 6 months? Maybe in the next 6 months it could, but between now and then, or even the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that, we could be in for a kind of a bad situation. Again, I just want to be real with you with what is going on right now. But again, if we start to see this situation in the United States here continue at the rate that it is right now, we could be looking at kind of a bad situation, even worse than it is right now. At that same time, Congress may be looking, again, if Congress does anything, wake up, guys, what are you doing? By the way, I'm talking about Congress. My point is, if Congress happens to do anything, they may be looking like, oh, okay, the economy's in a bad situation. What can we do here? The American people are struggling. They have been for a year. What can we do to help these people out? Well, we know the solution on that, and we've seen it before. We saw it back in the Great Financial Crisis back in 2007, 2008, 2009. During that range, they sent out checks for no reason. It was not having to do with anything globally. It did not have anything to do with COVID. It did not have anything to do other than the financial system imploding on itself and basically them sending money out saying, please spend the money, prop up the economy, get it going again. That's the only reason they sent those checks out back in that 2008. So again, trying to lay it out here, let you know what is actually going on here and what we need to look at going forward. Again, maybe I'm totally wrong with all this, but only time will tell. And who knows, maybe I'll come back here in a few months, come back and refer to this video again, and I guess we'll see. Who knows? Either way, I have no problem coming out, letting you know what I'm seeing out there on the horizon, and I just want you to be aware of it. Again, that is my commitment to you and this community, is to let you know what is going on, being honest, accurate, transparent, and reliable with the information that I'm bringing you here in these videos. So again, we've got to watch this stuff very closely, but in the event of anything else going on like that around the United States, the economy possibly, doing a bad thing, maybe there's more stimulus checks on the table, and it would not have anything to do with COVID. It would simply be doing because the economy is not doing hot and they want to get some money back into it. And once again, instill more confidence in the people to go back out and spend money. That's another thing too. When they give us money, they want us to spend it, but they also want us to get a little bit more confident and go out and spend more, right? They give us $1,000 and they say, hey, go out and spend $1,000. When really they're thinking, hey, go out and spend $2,000, right? That's what they're really thinking. Anyway, hope this helps you out. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I can be. I know sometimes I come back and I share things that you probably don't want to hear, but at the same time, I've got to be honest with you. I need to tell you what is actually going on out there. That's what I'm here for. So anyway, I hope this helps you. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. I'm here to help you out in any way that I can. I'm also here to keep you updated and just to be here by your side every single day during this very confusing and busy time with everything going on. So subscribe down below, share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,200 videos right here on the channel. Enjoy your day, and I hope this one helps you out. And please remember, leave your comments and questions down below. I'll do my best to answer them, or come back in a dedicated video just like I did in this one, and lay it all out in way too long of a video and way too many words. So anyway, with that being said, I'm out of here. Enjoy your day, and I'll catch you again.